Hello, I'm Jamie Shibley, CEO of The Expressory. Today I want to ask you a question. How present is your brand, do you think? And we've been talking a lot lately about the impacts that the digital world is having on our ability to relate to one another and the impacts that that digital space is really having on our ability to create stronger relationships with the prospects we're trying to convert and our existing clients and team. Okay. And so the question of how present is your brand helps us understand the impact we're having and our ability to manage those relationships. So I have been doing a lot of reading about finding, your communities and how we gather and all of the relationship building related parts of these conversations. And I've come across a few quotes, thoughts that have really helped me, question how we at the Expressory are building our community and the present and whether or not we're present, right? So on an ongoing basis, we host monthly Q&As where members of our community who are following along can come together and have questions discuss topics related to relationship building and the ideas and strategies that we can implement in our own brand. And so it got me thinking some of these quotes that I was reading about how we could do that better. How is my presence? How am I representing our brand in those communities? So let me read you a couple of things. I read a book called Finding Your People or Find Your People from Jenny Allen. And in it, she says, we've replaced intrusive, real conversations with small talk, and we've substituted soul bearing, deep connected living with texts and a night out together every once in a while, because all that superficial stuff seems more manageable and less risky. And I think if we look at how we live, both in our business and personally, sadly, it's probably true if you're willing to admit it, right? Um, we have how many followers, and our friend circles are extended thanks to social media, and it probably feels like we're showing up and we're being good when we post and we comment and we follow along and all those things. But again, it's superficial. And since our circles have expanded, getting together every once in a while, again, feels manageable. But how deep is that really? And so these same things really apply in business. And it's part of the reasons our clients and our retention numbers are, um, you know, probably pretty low for most, the average business owner, right? Because we don't have the same kind of time, or we're not taking that time we used to manage a closer circle of ongoing connections. And I think that's okay, but we have to be realistic on how we're tending to them. So, another book I was reading is called The Art of Gathering: How We Meet and Why It Matters. And inside of it, there was a story. So it gets into the unwritten rules and the explicit rules that people will establish related to gatherings of any sort, personal and business, and a lot of topics around your purpose and things like that. But what struck me is that there was a story of a couple who moved to a new state, and they decided that they were going to commit to taking a day and going and exploring new neighborhoods and the restaurants and the world, the community in each of the different neighborhoods. And as they started to do this, more friends would want to join on, and pretty soon there would be 8 to 12 people on any given day, and it was 10 hours long. And what they shared is they started to establish these rules that if you joined, you had to commit to being there for all 10 hours and no phones. You had to be present the entire time and in all these conversations, because that's where the magic and the relationship building happened. Again, start thinking, like, what if in business, that's the time and the presence we gave to our relationships, the people that support us, our clients, our prospects? What would that change? Well, let me read to you what one of the guys who participated in a number of these said, he felt. He said it was one of the greatest um, groups that he had participated in or events, but he said it's rare for groups of people to do things together for a sustained amount of time anymore because we all carry this little technical capacity to be anywhere at any time. See, I was just about to be somewhere else. Because at any moment when our mind wanders, we've now trained ourselves to go grab this gadget and be somewhere else and look at something else. So, in the course of these events that they had planned, and with people being forced to be so present, it was a different way to fill the time. They could go deeper into the experience. They could observe things around them and connect with people differently than they had in any given day because they're spending time with people here and present versus millions of miles away. So he said I could let go of all the low level anxiety caused by using every moment to anticipate the next. And it didn't matter what else was going on because he was so there. And so, for me, and he talks about being able to go um, deeper with these people. Um, and it just created new habits for him, right? And I think about my Q&As and the time that I spend at networking events. And it's so easy for your mind to wander when you're listening to speakers or you're, uh, you know, supposed to be lunching with others. Uh, And what if we just committed to representing our brands ourselves better by being more present? And I'll take it one step further in that the foundation of long lasting relationships starts with showing people you care and you understand them. And I think that these quotes I've shared today and the stuff we're talking about goes to bring us back as a reminder that our digital world is keeping us very surface level, superficial. And we have to be more intentional about taking it deeper, being more present with people so that we build the foundations again of long lasting relationships. And it's for the good of our business, right? We are not going to continue to convert as fast and as often if we can't be present with people in the ways that we used to be. So, hopefully, this has inspired you to be a little more intentional with your own presence. Um, me, I'm always happy to continue this conversation if it sparks something for you. Um, but I appreciate you listening along and reach out if you'd like to. Thank you.